Very excited to show off these 8 TTMs for you, everybody. So let's get started with the first one, and it comes from Mr. Mike Compton. I saw Boston fan get Mike Compton back. He's a big Patriots fan, and Compton played with the Patriots in the first 2 Super Bowls with them. So I figured, you know what? If Boston fan can get a Mike Compton autograph, I can definitely get one too. We're going to move on to the next one. It is Phil Roof. I've gotten Phil Roof back numerous times. I think it's about 4 times that I've gotten Phil Roof back. And when I mentioned his first home run, it was off of Casey Cox. I don't even remember who Casey Cox is, or I don't know who Casey Cox is. But that first home run was a 12th inning blast, which was the eventual game winner for the, forget if he played with the Twins at that point or not, but Phil Roof hit the game-winning home run for his very first home run. That would be pretty cool. And the next one is Mr. Steve Blass. Steve Blass I've gotten back, again, like Phil Roof, numerous times. Steve Blass is a great TTMer, just like Phil Roof. He did actually answer my question that I asked him, and I'm not going to share it because it was a very cool answer, and I gave the answer to Math Bowler because Math Bowler is obviously a big Pittsburgh Pirates fan, and I'm going to let him take advantage of that answer, and I hope Math Bowler ends up with a great Steve Blass autograph because of the answer to the question. Moving on to the next one, and it is Mr. Gary Nolan. Gary Nolan is a second-timer for me. Very cool that he won back-to-back World Series with the Big Red Machine. Gary Nolan, when I was looking at his baseball reference page and he fanned Willie McCovey 19 times, I was quite impressed. And of course, if you've been with this channel for quite some time, you know the 1976 Topps cards are from 12 Again Sports and Outdoors. Again, I can't think about him enough for providing me with a bunch of 1976 Topps cards. I've been using them left and right for great TTM fuel. First timer on the channel is Mr. Danny Bugs. I've seen other people get Danny Bugs back. Finally found a card of his when I was at that antique store. I showed off those cards a couple of weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, whatever it was. And Danny Bugs didn't have a great NFL career, but his career at West Virginia University was tremendous, as he has the longest reception in program history. I think it was 96-yard touchdown reception that he got in the early 70s, so that's cool to get a Mountaineer great. The next one is a guy who I didn't have a card of, so I had him sign that photo of Wrigley Field along with Kyle Farnsworth. Augie Ojeda signed third base, or the left side of the infield, because that's where he played when he was with the Cubs. He was a left side of the infield guy for most of his career, I think. Don't think he ever played second base, but I know he's a shortstop third baseman with the Cubs. And mentioned that he hit his first career home run off of Pat Mahomes. Of course, as we know, that is Patrick Mahomes' father. And didn't know he was a member of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. And he won bronze that year in Atlanta. So very cool to get Augie Ojeda back on that Wrigley Field photo. Moving on to another first-timer, Mr. Doug Dinkan. Learned while I was putting this together that he spent 50 years with the Cleveland Browns, between calling games on the radio and 14 seasons lining up on the offensive line. And I didn't even know he played wide receiver with the Illini. He actually jokingly said that he was the slowest receiver in the history of college football. I don't know about that, but apparently he considers himself slow, but very awesome to get a first-timer and a Cleveland Brown legend. And finally, the last one comes from Don Strock, who mentored the greatest quarterback of all time, Dan Marino. I asked Don Strock if he knew when Dan Marino was going to be the greatest of all time. He didn't respond, which is too bad, but that's okay. Very happy to get a guy who backed up both Bob Greasy and Dan Marino. And His very first touchdown pass was to Howard Twilley, who passed away late last year or earlier this year. I can't remember exactly when he passed away, but very awesome to get Don Strock back for the second time. And of course, the 1982 playoffs, the Miami Dolphins were down 24-0 at halftime, and Don Strock came in and was able to tie the game at 38, I believe. And then the Chargers won the game in overtime. So, those are my TTMs. Tell me which one you like the best. Give me a thumbs up. All that great stuff. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.